Hello once again, I'm Don Jackson. James Joyce, in a letter to Nora dated 1909, wrote, "You are my only love. You have me completely in your power. I know and feel that if I am to write anything fine and noble in the future, I shall do so only by listening at the doors of your heart. I would like to go through life side by side with you, telling you more and more until we grew to be one being together, until the hour should come for us to die." Three Dog Night said that one is the loneliest number. That may be true at times, but that's not always the case. One plus one always equals 2. A lesson in the old math in this program. 1, the loneliest number to some, but it's not to everyone. In my hands I hold a candle whose flame is small to see, and if I give but one light to you, my life is filled for me. But in your hands you hold a torch for many eyes to see. Someone also said, 1 is probably the most important number. It's the beginning. It takes 1 minute to have a crush on someone, an hour to like someone, and 1 day to love someone. But it takes a lifetime to forget someone. Another writer said, by living your life 1 day at a time, you live all the days of your life. Even if you live it for only 1 day or more, that day deserves to be lived graciously and with dignity. It was Emily Dickinson who said, "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain." 1 is a pretty big number when you get right down to it. I found this writing in Just Kindness, Please by Care Anderson. Scottish lawyer and biographer James Boswell once said, "We cannot tell the precise moment when friendship is formed. As in filling a vessel, drop by drop, there is at least a drop that makes it run over. So, in a series of kindness, there is at last one which makes the heart run over." Then blend they, like green leaves with golden flowers, into one beautiful and perfect whole, and life's long night is ended, and the way lies open onward to eternal day. I heard this some years back. A man only has to see a woman once in his life, and the mental connection he makes with this stranger is so strong that he can spend the rest of his life thinking about her. The same can be said for a woman seeing a man and immediately thinking soulmate. It must be some kind of psychic connection, and whether or not these two people actually meet is irrelevant. This connection has already been made. James K. Feebleman, in The Way of a Man, published by Horizon, wrote, "The importance of one event in any life is directly proportionate to its intensity. It may take a man a year to travel around the world, and the year may leave absolutely no impression on him. It may take him only a second to see the face of a woman, and that second may change his entire future." The example is extreme, though far from uncommon. For one human being to love another, that is perhaps the most difficult of all our tasks. The ultimate, the last test and proof, the work for which all other work is but preparations. Rainer Maria Rilke. As I said at the beginning, it was Three Dog Night that lamented that 1 is the loneliest number. So that leaves 2, and 2 seems just about right, but doesn't make the math any easier. Larry Crabb wrote, "When 2 people connect, something is poured out of one and into the other that has the power to heal the soul of its deepest wounds and restore it to health. The one who receives experiences the joy of being healed. The one who gives knows the even greater joy of being used to heal. Something good is in the heart of each of God's children that is more powerful than everything bad. It's there, waiting to be released, to work its magic, but it rarely happens." M.F.K. Fisher said, "When I write of hunger, I am really writing about love and the hunger for it and warmth and the love of it, and it is all one." George Bernard Shaw in Getting Married wrote, "When you loved me, I gave you the whole sun and stars to play with, and the volume of all the seas in one impulse of your soul." André Gide, in the Journals of André Gide published by Knopf, said, "One should only want one thing and want it constantly. Then one is sure of getting it. But I desire everything and consequently get nothing. Each time I discover, and too late, that one thing had come to me while I was running after another." Paul Verlaine wrote, "I often dream strange, penetrating dreams of one whom I adore and who loves me, whose image changes yet unchanging seems, who loves me well and understandingly. No darkness is there in my heart for her alone its secrets all are plain. She cools my pale moist forehead while her prayer restores me, and her tears console my pain. And is she fair or dark? I do not know. Her name 'tis musical, recalling those of loved ones whom life exiled long ago. Her gaze is like a statue's, and her voice is grave and calm, and is withdrawn, like those of dear ones gone beyond the bourne." Louise Driscoll wrote, "Within your heart, keep one still, secret spot where dreams may go." Sometimes, though, those dreams can turn into nightmares. I went out to the hazelwood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand, and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing, and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips, and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun." William Butler Yeats and the Song of Wandering Angus. The most powerful line in the film City of Angels, that starred Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage, Seth's reasons for wanting to be less than just an angel. I would rather have had one breath of her hair, one kiss of her mouth, one touch of her hand, than an eternity without it. Anne Morrow Lindbergh, in Gift from the Sea, wrote, "It is not the desert island, nor the stony wilderness that cuts you off from the people you love. It is the wilderness in the mind, the desert wastes in the heart through which one wanders lost and a stranger." Hugh Downs, in Perspectives, wrote, "There are more stars known to exist right now than the total number of all the grains of sand on every beach in the entire world. With those kinds of odds, it would seem downright naive for someone to go to a beach in, say, some remote inlet in Baffin Bay, stoop to pick only one tiny grain of sand, and declare that grain alone was the only place where life could exist." Lewis Thomas, from The Lives of a Cell, Notes of a Biology Watcher, wrote, "Statistically, the probability of any one of us being here is so small that you'd think the mere fact of existing would keep us all in a contented dazzlement of surprise." Rilke also wrote, "One single rose is all roses, and this particular one unique, perfect, a supple word with which to speak the text of all things." You don't need more than a single rosebud to appreciate why Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's Little Prince loved his rose so well. If someone loves a flower of which just one single blossom grows in all the millions and millions of stars, it is enough to make him happy. But that rose may never be whispered about. Sarah Teasdale wrote, "Those who love the most do not talk of their love. Francesca, Guinevere, Deirdre, Isolde, Eloise, in the fragrant gardens of heaven, are silent, or speak, if at all, of fragile, inconsequent things. And a woman I used to know who loved one man from her youth, against the strength of the fates, fighting in somber pride, never spoke of this thing, but hearing his name by chance, a light would pass over her face." She also wrote another poem called The Beloved that seems appropriate when thinking of the love affair that remained a secret throughout one woman's entire life, that of Rose in Titanic. "It is enough of honor for one lifetime to have known you better than the rest have known, the shadows and colors of your voice, your will immutable and still as stone, the shy heart, so lonely and so gay, the sad laughter and the pride of pride, the tenderness, the depth of tenderness, rich as the earth and wide as heaven is wide." Khalil Gibran wrote, "Should you really open your eyes and see, you would behold your image in all images. And should you open your ears and listen, you would hear your own voice in all voices." Peter Lowney said, "No one owns his life. Everyone, no matter how insignificant, has an effect on someone else. Just as a stone sends out ripples when cast into still water. A person whose life doesn't touch another's is a person without a shadow." Fredelle Maynard, quoting a friend in Woman's Day, said, "Of all the people you will know in a lifetime, you are the only one you will never leave or lose. To the question of your life, you are the only answer. To the problems of your life, you are the only solution." M. Scott Peck, in People of the Lie, said, "The whole course of human history may depend on a change of heart in one solitary and even humble individual, for it is in the solitary mind and soul of the individual that the battle between good and evil is waged and ultimately won or lost." And finally this: one song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clasp lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you.